Hey guys, and welcome to Miss Ono's Compound Nosotros command forms. So, yesterday we worked on some basic Nosotros command forms. Hopefully you guys all still have your papers from yesterday, because we will be using a lot of the same verbs over today, and you'll probably find yesterday's papers to be pretty helpful. So, let's get started. The first page of your papers is looking at reflexive verbs, and we did Nosotros affirmative commands and negative commands with reflexive verbs yesterday. So to form the affirmative command, you have to do a couple of things. You use the opposite ending, drop the S, add nos, and then you have to count back 3 vowels. Be careful, it's not 3 letters, it's 3 vowels, and add an accent mark. So for the verb alegrarse, it's an AR verb, so we would use EMOS as our ending, and our form would be alegrémonos. Because apoyarse is also an AR verb, it would follow the exact same pattern. EMOS, but drop the S, then add nos and count backwards to find your accent mark. You end up with apoyémonos. Now, atreverse is an ER verb, so instead of EMOS, we're going to use AMOS. Drop the S, add nos, count backwards to find our accent mark, atrevámonos. Pelearse is an AR verb, so we're back to EMOS for our ending. Peleémonos. Reconciliarse becomes reconciliémonos. And sentirse is an E to I stem change verb. And you can see that I made sure to mark that E so you knew to change it. So it's going to be SINT. You need the A ending plus nos and the accent mark, sintámonos. That means let's all feel. Now the negative commands are a little bit easier. It's no, and then nos, and then the regular nosotros subjunctive form of the verb. So again, we're using opposite endings. AR verbs end in EMOS, ER or IR verbs end in AMOS. So to say, let's not be happy, no nos alegremos. Let's not support each other, no nos apoyemos. Atreverse becomes no nos atrevamos. Pelearse becomes no nos peleemos. Reconciliarse becomes no nos reconciliemos. And sentirse becomes no nos sintamos. So take just a second and make sure that you've got all that copied down. And then we're going to take a look at the second table that you have for practice today. Alright, let's move on to your second table. Your second table is verbs with indirect objects. Indirect objects are when you talk about to somebody or for somebody in relationship to the verb. So, let's tell him, or let's support them, or let's give them the books, or let's write them a letter. In order to create these forms, you're going to use the opposite endings again, just like in all of the forms that we've looked at yesterday and today. Then you'll add le or les to the end, depending on whether it's to one person or to multiple people. And then once again you have to count back 3 vowels and add the accent mark. Now you'll notice that in this form we're not dropping the S from the ending. So to tell him, let's tell him, I would write that digámosle. Like digámosle la verdad. Let's tell him the truth, or let's tell her the truth. If I want to say let's support them, I would say apoyémosles. It's an AR verb, so we use the EMOS ending. Don't drop the S, keep the S. Add les, and then count back 1, 2, 3 vowels and put the accent mark on it. Consentirle. Consentir means to spoil. And once again, this is an E to I stem change. And I made sure to mark the E for you. So, because it's an IR verb, it's an AMOS ending, and then we're going to add the le at the end and count backwards for our accent mark. Consintámosle. So this is let's spoil him, or let's spoil her. Let's give them. It's an AR verb, so it's EMOS. Add the les, count backwards, and we get démosles. So let's give them the food. Démosles la comida. If I want to say, let's write her a letter, it's an IR verb, so you need AMOS for your ending, plus le, and count backwards for your accent. Escribámosle. Escribámosle una carta. Let's write her a letter. And if I want to say, let's buy them, like let's buy them a present, it's an AR verb, so you're going to use EMOS, then add les, count backwards for your accent mark. Comprémosles. Comprémosles unos regalos. Let's buy them presents. For the negative command forms, you're going to start with no. Then you're going to put le or les in the middle, and then you're going to use the regular nosotros subjunctive form. So once again, AR verbs use the E endings, ER and IR verbs use A endings. So let's not tell him, no le digamos. Let's not support them, no les apoyemos. Let's not spoil her, no le consintamos. Let's not give them, no les demos. Let's not write her, no le escribamos. And let's not buy them, no les compremos. So once again, I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds to make sure that you've got this all copied down correctly before we move on to the third table. All right. The third table is verbs with direct objects. This is like saying, say it, or do it, or send them, or buy them, or explain it, or sell it. A direct object tells who or what about the verb. So, what are you telling? or what are you sending, or what are you explaining. And the rules are, use the opposite endings. So you already know AR verbs are going to end in EMOS. ER or IR verbs are going to end in AMOS. Then you are going to add lo, la, los, or las, depending on what the thing is that we're talking about. So for example, tell the truth, we would be talking about la verdad. So we would use la, just like in the first example that we're going to see. But if I wanted to say, explain the problem, problem is actually a masculine word, so it would be explicarlo, just like in the next to last example that we're going to look at here. And then, of course, you have to count back 3 vowels and add your accent mark. So let's take a look. If I want to say, let's tell the truth, but I don't want to just say the truth, I want to say, let's just tell it, I would say, digámosla. It's an IR verb, so we're going to use AMOS, and then I'm going to add la at the end. I counted back 1, 2, 3 vowels, and I put my accent mark on the A, and I've got digámosla. If I want to say, let's do it, hagámoslo. We know that hacer is irregular, so it's hagamos. We added the lo, we added the accent mark, hagámoslo. Enviarlas, to send them. So it's an AR verb. We're going to use EMOS as our ending plus las. Count backwards for our accent mark. Enviémoslas. So if I want to say, let's send the letters, enviémoslas. If you ask me, do you want to buy the tickets? And I say, yeah, let's buy them, I would say, sí, comprémoslos. It's an AR verb, so we use EMOS in our ending. We add los. We count backwards and add our accent mark. And we're ready to go. Explicarlo. So if you say, should we explain this problem? Yes, let's explain it. It's an AR verb, so it's going to be EMOS. This is also a C to QU spelling change verb, and I made sure to mark it for you. So, expliquémoslo, EXPLIQU, E with an accent, MOSLO. They get more and more complicated, don't they? And let's look at this last one, venderlo. So if you say, what do you think about this car? Should we keep it or should we sell it? And I say, let's sell it. I would say, vendámoslo. Vender is ER, so we use AMOS, add the lo, add the accent mark, vendámoslo. The negative command form, we start with no, then we add that pronoun in the middle, that lo, la, los, or las, depending on what the object, what the thing is that we're talking about, and then the regular nosotros subjunctive form of the verb. So, use the opposite endings, AR verbs, EMOS, ER or IR verbs, AMOS. Are you sick of reading that yet? The good news is you've read it so many times you'll probably remember it by the end of this. So, no la digamos, let's not tell it. So if you say, well, should we really tell her the truth? No la digamos, let's not tell the truth. If I want to say, ooh, let's not do it. No lo hagamos. If you ask me about those letters and I say, oh, let's not send those. No las enviemos. No los compremos, let's not buy them. No lo expliquemos, let's not explain it. And And if you really want to keep that car, instead of vendámoslo, it would be no lo vendamos. So take a minute, write it down, finish up, and then we'll move on to the last table. Alright, in the last table, we're looking at verbs that have direct and indirect objects together. So, this is where you want to say, you want to do something to someone. So, for example, if I ask, should we tell her the truth, you would either say, yes, let's tell it to her, or no, let's not tell it to her. So in that first example, let's tell it to her, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps this time. So you start by using the opposite endings. AR verbs have EMOS, ER and IR verbs have AMOS. Just like the first ones we looked at today, you have to drop the S. And then you add se. Instead of le or les, like we looked at before with the indirect objects, when we have indirect and direct together in the same word, we're going to replace le or les with se. So, opposite endings, drop the S, add se, and then add your direct object pronoun, so lo, la, los, or las. And this time we're going to count back 4 vowels and add an accent mark. But it's really going to look very similar because it's still going to be on the E or the A before the mos. So let's take a look at this first one. If I want to say, yeah, let's tell it to her, I'm going to say, digámosela. So, we added the AMOS, dropped the S, then added se, so the S comes back. It's there. But if we didn't drop it, then we'd have 2 S's in a row, and you can't do that in Spanish. Spanish doesn't really do double vowels except for, double consonants, except for the double L, which has its own unique sound, and the double R, which has its unique sound. You can't double an S in Spanish. That's just not acceptable Spanish spelling. So we're going to say drop the S and then add se. And then we added the la at the end, and we counted back 1, 2, 3, 4 vowels this time, but it still goes on whatever came before the mos, so the A or the E of the ending that we originally added. Let's keep looking at a couple more of these, because this is a lot of steps. So, hacerlo a ellos. If we want to say, yeah, let's do it to them, we know that it's going to be AMOS, hagamos. We drop the S and add se. Then we add lo. And then we go back 4 vowels and put the accent on the A. Hagámoselo. If we want to say, let's send them to her. Let's send her those letters. Enviémoselas. It's an AR verb, so we used EMOS. We dropped the S. We added the se, and then we added the las at the end, and we went all the way back to the E to add the accent. Comprarlos a él. Comprárselos. Comprémoselos. I'm sorry. So, for comprarlos a él, comprémoselos. We added EMOS, dropped the S, added se, Added los, counted back 4 vowels, and put the accent on the E. Comprémoselos. Let's buy them for him. For explicarlo a ella, explain it to her. Expliquémoselo. We used EMOS, dropped the S and added se, then added lo, counted back 4 vowels and added the accent to the E. And also remember, I reminded you, this is a C to QU spelling change, so EXPLIQU, E with an accent, MOSELO. Expliquémoselo. And let's sell them, let's sell it to them, I'm sorry. Would be vendámoselo. Vendámoselo. ER verb, so AMOS ending. Drop the S, add se, then add lo. Vendámoselo. The nosotros negative commands will be 4 separate words. No plus se plus lo, la, los, or las, and the regular nosotros subjunctive form of the verb. So, no se la digamos. Let's not tell it to her. So if you ask me, should we tell her the truth? And I just really don't think that's a good idea. No se la digamos. Let's not tell it to her. No se lo hagamos. Let's not do it to them. Or let's not do it to him. In this example, it's to them. Let's not send them to her. No se las enviemos. Let's not buy them for him. No se los compremos. If I say, ooh, let's not explain that to her. No se lo expliquemos. And if I really don't think that we should sell it to them, no se lo vendemos. No se lo vendamos, I'm sorry. So, you can see how we are using affirmative and negative commands, especially when these are compound forms where we add a direct or an indirect or a direct and indirect object into the verb, and it all becomes one long word. So please make sure you finish these up. Please make sure that you leave me your week 25, your mandatos with nosotros printouts from yesterday with the simple forms, and these forms with these papers with the compound forms. Since it's a long weekend, I will have an extra day. I am going to do my best to update grades this weekend, so that when we come back on Tuesday, you guys can see where you stand, both individually and as a class, as we move into these last 4 weeks of the marking period. Also, just a reminder, next week we'll be doing Study Guide Thursday, Class Review Friday. On Monday the 27th, you'll take your practice test, and then I won't see you for the rest of that week until maybe Friday, depending on how scheduling goes. So because you're going to stay in your first period class that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, while they're administering ISTEP testing, I'm going to miss you guys all week. So at some point during that time while we are apart, I'm going to need you guys to log into Schoology and take the test. Whether you do it Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whether you do it at home, whether you do it while you're stuck in your first period class for 3 hours on those days, that's up to you. It's between you and your teachers how you want to work that out. But when we come back that Friday, I'll see my third period for about half of the class, and then I'll see my fourth period for the whole class. But when I see you guys that Friday, I am going to be grading notebooks so that we can take the last 2 weeks of the marking period to do something fun and work on a project and kick back and kind of de-stress after I-step. So, you guys have an idea of what we're looking at for the rest of the marking period. I hope you guys have a wonderful long weekend. Remember, do not come to school on Monday. Nobody will be here. Nobody wants to see you. We love you, but take your long weekend. Enjoy it. Come back on Tuesday, ready to do some more work. Bye, guys.